Others get weary, bearing both their burdens and their scars.
This is what happens when you stand up for Christianity. The secular elite will go after you. Dozens of public figures in Britain have just signed an open letter to counter Prime Minister David Cameron's declaration that the UK is a Christian nation. It says, quote, "We object to his characterization of Britain as a Christian country. Britain is not a Christian country. Polls and studies show that most of us as individuals are not Christian in our beliefs. To claim otherwise fosters alienation and division in our society." Let me just say first here, bunk. The fact is that England is a Christian nation. It has its own church, the Church of England, which is Christian. And for David Cameron, what he was talking about was not making about Christianity in England. He was talking about what the persecution of Christians around the world. And one of the reasons these guys are saying this in England now, and let's be honest about it, is because you've had an influx of Muslims and you don't want to get them upset. That's exactly what you're talking about. Why don't you just come straight through and say this is a Muslim response to what David Cameron said? It is a Christian country and it is not a Muslim country. Sorry, go ahead.
I agree with you, and I do think that's the motivation. The PC police in the UK are coming out saying it's not. I don't know what percentage of people in the UK ascribe to Christianity. I will tell you,
a vast majority,
and in this country as well, somewhere around 80+% would call themselves at least one form of Christian believers. So I don't think they're going to come. What they do here instead is, rather than pegging it the way they did there, what they do here is they say it's not constitutional. You have to separate church and state, and they rely on that for their basis of their argument.
The bottom line is Bob is actually right, because. Kind of.
What a
no,
revelation.
Because Christianity is actually losing ground to Islam in the UK. And they are concerned, Eric, you're right, they're concerned about terrorist threats, acts of radical violence in the UK. They have even more alarming problem and concern about it than we do in this country.
You know, Dana, the Muslim countries are very quick to declare themselves Muslim countries. Now, in England, in fact, is a Christian country. Why should they be allowed to call theirs a Muslim country and Cameron can't call his a Christian country?
Because a lot of those groups have figured out a way to exploit a double standard. And I think what Cameron was doing, in a way, was appealing to a narrow base that I think it's important, but let's just not pretend that there aren't some politics involved here.
You're right.
Now, Queen Elizabeth is the head of the Church of England. She is crowned by the Archbishop of Canterbury. So I could see why, with all, if you're on the cover of People magazine every week, the Christianity part of the royal family might not be what they're leading with, but that is a fact that England is a Christian nation, which actually means it's more tolerant, and a lot of different religions can live peacefully there and coexist, and they have.
You lived in England, Greg. Do you consider it a Christian country, or do you?
I felt it to be a fairly agnostic place, but I think with these religious, the secular religious critics were criticizing religion. They were also saying, let's not lose our heads over this, meaning let's not mention Islam.
Yeah, exactly right. All right, well, I'll continue to mention it, and I got a big neck. One more thing is up next.
Dancing to a reggae song, feel good, feel good.